Hello everyone, how good of you to join. Welcome back to Transport Fever 2 as we're looking at our glorious cities there, London and Lyon. Well, we're in the middle of the 60s now. We have around $700 million. So I think money is not really a problem as we're also making quite a good profit there. We're having now jet planes, we're having high-speed trains. Well, not exactly high-speed trains yet, but they might be coming soon. And we have lots of work to do, so let's get cracking. First thing I like to do is having a look at Salzburg. Now, Salzburg, as we can see, does require food and construction materials. Construction materials is actually really hard to get by, but food is not so difficult. As it happens, over here in Paris, we do have our food processing plant that is swimming in grain, really. There's not a single customer for this or food processing plant yet. Also, the train with the grain here suffers because of that, because, well, there's no demand basically also for grain. It's making some small profit there. By the way, I think this is one from the last century that is still making its way up there. But anyway, this one is now getting its customer for Salzburg. Well, a train might be possible here. We already have the tracks for that. This is actually an option. The problem though is it would be a cargo train, and that is much slower than the passenger trains. So what I would like to do here is, I would like to have some trucks. Now, trucks is something we haven't really used in a long time. And it actually makes still sense to use trucks here, especially since we got some good new ones now. So let's get us a truck station up right next to the food processing plant, and I will then also need one in Salzburg over here, especially where we do have well, some demand for food. So that is on that side here. Basically, we already have a nice little corner there. Unfortunately, I can't squeeze it in. Having it over there, this would work nicely though. As we can see, food demand, we would get almost all of them as far as I can see. Oh, we also have this tram depot there that I don't really need, so we could have our truck depot right here in the center, and only one building, and here no building would be removed. How very nice is that? Let's have our truck depot right there in the center, and yeah, that's basically it. The only thing we now would need is a truck depot, so let's just get this one on the way. There we have it, a road depot that we will probably have right here at the end of the whole thing. I'm going to delete it again as always, and then we create a new truck line that is food from Upper Paris to Salzburg downtown, or whatever it's called, exchange, right? And this is food Salzburg. So there we have another line for that. It's not going to be very profitable, right? Trucks usually are profitable, but delivering food to a city with a train is also not really the most profitable thing. We do have a food transportation there right now somewhere, Food Vilnius, as we can see, and it's not making that much profit simply because there is not that much food usually that we can deliver. But now with trucks it is possible, and the growth of Salzburg is my primary concern here, not profit with some trucks there. It's basically no profit at all in comparison to planes and big trains. We got the manned tarpaulin truck there, diesel, 80 kilometers an hour, all cargo, and that's basically my goal here. Let's just add a couple of them here to the food Salzburg line, and we should be seeing now some food popping up here then as well. Of course, they should not really be empty-handed, so let's just have a look up at Paris. Wait please until you're full. And then you can go to Salzburg there. So these are some newer trucks that we have. Very nice, and they should make their way up there into the hills of Salzburg. Now, we do have still those ugly roads in the way that are only allowing 30 kilometers an hour, so we definitely should increase that. We do have some highway ramps here, but they are only one way, so rather go with the medium street, large street. There we have it, country roads, 80 kilometers an hour. That's the one that we need. And there we have, for example, the first one then here. So this is where really some higher speeds are allowed, and those trucks get more quickly to the next city. We're going to do that for all of that here. The cool thing about that is that also the city traffic going back and forth between the two cities there, the private traffic, is profiting from that, because obviously people can just, use that much faster than there we have it. Going right into Salzburg, right? So we should also see some improvement here in the destinations then. And as we can see, we are. Oh, there's also a new tram that we might use. And yeah, well, food should be flowing now. Hopefully the first trucks leave the station soon. And there it is, the first truck with 12 tons of food, and the other one should be already building up some food. Of course, it's taking a bit of time for these industries to adjust themselves, but once this is working, It's working fine then, I hope. And with that, yeah, we can now push the growth of Salzburg there, pushing it towards 400. That is my goal. That will also profit us then, what actually makes us the money, right? And that is the the trains here, the in-the-city train that we have there. This is the primary goal. There's also lots of people with that tram that are just now flooding the station. Really happy to see all these little details then around, right? And how the public transportation is working together. Just also gotta say how epic this country road is going up there to Salzburg with these huge bridges that were so expensive for us. And now only now can I see how steep this bridge really is, and that the train is still able to do its job. And as we can see, 80 kilometers an hour is probably not really possible here since it's going up so quickly, but still a beautiful road that we have there going up into the other city. And there is the truck finally arriving in Salzburg. Let's just have a look what my profit is. It's actually quite nice, 190,000. It wasn't even full. It's a bit profitable there at least, but much more important now is that we get the food, and there is the first growth now for Salzburg in this area too, since Salzburg does get some food. There's the next truck already coming, so there's the next truck coming. This is already full, so now I think food is really flooding in there. We can also see that here. Now transport is not really high up there yet. We might need to modernize the grain that is now here, as we can see. So this is still one of the very old locomotives, and let's just use one of the newer ones. We could actually now use this one here, the BRV100. This locomotive with diesel hydraulic drive was built to replace the steam locomotives used on non-electrified branch lines. And this one is, well, we're using this one here right now. It's faster, it is more, it's stronger, so let's use that one here on this very short line that we have for the grain basically. And then I just need my grain. Oh, and we got some new trucks there already, but they're not much faster. So that we have it with the new cards. 91 capacity is fine, and there at least we got this little locomotive there on a line that's still not really fully utilized. Oh, in fact, this single truck line is enough to level up the food processing plant here. I did absolutely not expect it with just one single line. Yeah, there's enough trucks on this line. I think this truck line is making us some profit there at some point now, or rather sooner than later. Let's just check this one. And yes, there it is. It's actually my most profitable truck line that we have. And as we can see, 800,000. I did not expect to make such with that amount of money there with one truck line. As we can see, these trucks are coming in and almost full. Yes, it's very important that this levels up because there's not enough food here still being produced. And as we can see, it's happening as we speak. That should also be very good for this line here, as then more grain can be transported over there. We have one grain line here, and over there is another grain farm. So it might be possible to actually get some grain over there by truck as well. We have the truck station there already. I would just need a bridge for this whole endeavor there. And since it's happening rather soon, this is incredible. Really, with one food line, we can already level up this processing plant here. I will need my truck one. There we have going through Paris one, but that's going to be slow, right? So I definitely want to have a country road that is using a bridge here. So let's just go ahead and have a bridge over here. It will though need to be a bit higher than that. Right, so let's just see. We might make this one high, and then it goes all the way over to the other side. Let's put it down there again. Big bridge collision. All right. That bridge building is not so easy. All right, and then we should be having the right amount for a decent bridge. There we have a proper looking bridge, and we do get the Boeing 737, one of the most iconic planes out there. Very good, so my passengers will be very happy. I hope that there is some additional passenger capacity with that now. In fact, let's use, let's one of the brick bridges there. We could also use one of the steel ones that we have now. I think they're a bit lightweight, so yeah, let's actually go ahead with this one there over the river, so that's not that expensive. And then we continue here, as we can see, going right into the... Let's just see if we can actually make this. There's a tunnel that needs to be happening there, but it's pretty important because I do want to have the trucks being as fast as possible. There's the tunnel. Can we have a different tunnel? We could have... Oh, we could have no tunnel at all, but that would look very bad. That's fine. That's 2.7 million. And then we push right into that grain farm there. And here we are going to have another truck station. We're going to keep a bit of a distance there because I would probably like to enlarge in this station there at some point. And that's basically it already. Let's just go ahead and create us a new line. This is going to be from Paris siding to this one here, Upper Paris. And the cool thing is here now, since we already have 2 platforms, I can say that please use the other platform over there because the grain or the food is being transported from here and the grain is coming in here. So there's no traffic jam or anything like that. This is the grain Paris. Righto, and then we just need some trucks. And I think we got some new trucks available there. Isuzu, so some Japanese trucks that we have there. 18 capacity, 14 capacity, 17 capacity. I would still like to go for my MAN trucks there, most likely. Let's just get us a few. I think we're going to need quite a bit of that for all the grain Paris. There it is. And off they go. By the way, there's lots of food piling up here. We will need some additional trucks here. Let's just copy a few more trucks for that. And as we can see, they're using this platform now, while the food trucks will use this platform. Meanwhile, this grain or food processing plant here has leveled up, so it's level 2 now, and that we can already see there's no grain anymore in store. So we're going to need much more grain. Hopefully we can see that somehow. This is still not producing enough grain for this. I think this one is producing all the grain now. Also not that much, right? There is a truck, so there's 2 lines now coming in. It will still not be enough grain, I think, especially with the amount of grain that is being processed there. There's the first grain trucks now also coming in, hopefully making us a bit of a profit there. Well, we will just have to wait here a couple of minutes to see how it turns out. Now let's get back to my planes. Lyon-Paris, one of our biggest plane airlines that we have. Let's just see what new kind of aircraft we got. The 737, 20 capacity. It's actually not that much. It's less than my Comet that we have, but it is a bit faster at that. Also, the Boeing 737 is an American narrow-body aircraft for short and medium-haul flights, repainted in the colors of the German airline Lufthansa, and then we would have the standard one without the Lufthansa signal there. But I love the Lufthansa, so we're going to replace it with this newer one. There we have it. It's looking also a bit realistic there, isn't it? That a Lufthansa plane would be between Lyon and Paris, now that I get it. We got some two French cities there. Very good. It's not carrying that many people, one less, but it's much faster in the air, so I'm hoping that long-term wise we can get more out. And I think, let's just check this one. 1.4 million. Alright, it's also not that much cheaper, so it's basically the same. It's still a pretty aircraft. Very good. With the amount of food coming in, as we can see, target growth is 180%, and we are pushing now towards 400 there. Salzburg is getting its first skyscrapers. It's also worth noting at this point that basically no airline is making a loss. With the best one, Fuel Amsterdam, 14 million that we make out of that. Then comes the food, and only then do the passenger planes matter. So the Paris Amsterdam and the Lyon Paris here. This took a hit, of course, because we replaced the planes, but the Paris Amsterdam here we could also still replace with the next generation. Let's actually make the ones without painting. And that's fine so far. Hopefully we're getting really some bigger planes there, because we need to, well, take more passengers. This one is fine. Fuel Stockholm is still using small aircraft. The problem is in Stockholm we have the small airport still working for us, or an airfield I should say. It's of course fine in some way, but it's also making a loss because there's basically, it's out of time, right? And Stockholm needs more fuel to grow there a bit as well. it's very important because with that we do get more passengers once again and more money on that side. Let's get rid of the airfield and instead having one of the big cargo airports. Now once again space is going to matter here. Gosh, there is actually a road that's in the way. Let's get rid of that, but that I'm able to squeeze it in there. Those poor people, of course. I mean, this is just way too big for a city like Stockholm. Unfortunately, we can't do it any other way. This would be possible here, right? There we actually have still some fuel close by. Ooh, that's going to be tricky. And very expensive now that I see it. I, however, do have an idea. We could use Stockholm Transfer Cargo Airport because Stockholm itself doesn't need really an airport, right? It's way too small anyway. We do have a train station that goes up there to Amsterdam Airport, so that is fine. We could use the space here for more city growth, and I can just deliver the fuel by trucks. This is actually a good idea, I think, since trucks are not that bad anymore now that we have some better and faster trucks. So let's have our truck station right across the street here to Stockholm Cargo Airport, more or less. The only thing that we need to look out for is the road system that we have here in place. So let's make this one a large country road, and then from here, or here unfortunately it's not possible, but here it is possible that we use then a decent country road that goes all the way down there and then to Stockholm itself, righto. A connection here, and the cool thing about that is we can also decide where we should have this smaller station. We don't use that much space, and I could just have it somewhere here in the middle, right, and utilizing all of the fuel that we have there. So there we have it. This is looking good. We have it here, then it's not so far away. So there we have it right in the center, surrounded by all the fuel buildings. Also, more buildings can appear then around that, so it's kind of like hidden. And the only thing we now need is a line, really. And we also need to reschedule this one here from Stockholm Airport, not anymore, to Stockholm Transfer. There we have that. So there we have, another problem, though, that appears now. We don't need a hangar here, so wait a second. Let's get rid of that hangar and have a cargo terminal instead. The problem here is that I've placed this very closely to the food processing plant, right? And well, we don't actually need that hangar there. And let's have the fuel going to Stockholm Terminal 2 now, right? And the food is on Terminal 1. That should be correct. And it's on 1, right? So we have now 2 airlines here basically, or 2 airlines, and both of them are using different terminals then. Alright, and since we're using now a big airport, what I can do now is with the Fuel Stockholm, I can finally now replace those aircrafts here with the ones that just transport way more. For cargo, of course, between jet and piston engine is a big difference when it comes to speed. So we're going with the Boeing 737 on this one, another large aircraft. 3 we have on the line now, and there's also the fuel trucks now coming out. They're going to wait here for the planes to arrive and get the fuel then to Stockholm. And I hope this is just as effective. Very nice, and there's the plane now coming in, so the trucks can deliver. What I can see though is those trucks have a capacity of 21, so they have just the same capacity than planes. So I don't need that many trucks here actually on this road, so let's just sell 2 of them again. Because really it's not necessary. A few of them less is fine, and the fuel should be transported. Of course, Stockholm is losing some population there right now, but only because of the temporary shortage of fuel. It should be coming in now shortly, and this city is recovering again. Very important, right, that we keep this close to 400 or above it, actually because of my passenger transportation networks there, of course. Amsterdam, meanwhile, is at 360. There is some fuel coming in. There is goods missing, and that would be my next target here now, the goods production. We, by the way, also got some new trucks that I might utilize for my cities. How is Salzburg, by the way, looking? 370. Very good. There's lots of food coming in, and also the destinations are doing some good job there. What a cool city that is, really. So high up there, and this is just working out with those skyscrapers. And let's also replace my other airlines now with the latest Boeing type. So we have Amsterdam, Lyon. Let's make this one Lufthansa there again. to transport a few more people. Unfortunately, thanks to not having bigger planes, there's still way too many people waiting at those airports there. That's just that. Now, my next target would be London, to grow this one even further and push towards our first 1000 megacity then. Stay tuned.